Welcome. Today we explore, how does AI recognize images? Look at this image. You see a cat, right? It takes your human brain less than a fraction of a second to recognize the ears, the whiskers, and the fur, and confidently say, yep, that's a cat. But how does an artificial intelligence understand this? If an AI doesn't have eyes or a biological brain, how can it possibly look at a photograph and know exactly what's inside it? Today, we are going to demystify one of the most fascinating capabilities of modern technology, image recognition. But to understand it, we first need to completely forget how humans see the world. Because AI doesn't see pictures. It sees math. Let's zoom way in on our picture of the cat. If you zoom in far enough on any digital image, the smooth picture breaks down into a grid of tiny, solid-colored squares. We call these squares pixels. When you or I look at this grid, we still see colors, maybe a dark gray here, or a bright orange over there. But computers only understand numbers. So, behind every single tiny square of color is a numerical value. Specifically, it's a combination of red, green, and blue values, often referred to as RGB. A bright white pixel might be a 255, while a dark black pixel is a 0. So when an AI looks at the exact same image of a cat that you do, it doesn't see a furry animal. It sees a massive, overwhelming spreadsheet of raw numbers. This is the starting point. The input. For a standard high-definition photo, we are talking about millions of individual numbers. The AI's job is to somehow find a meaningful pattern buried deep inside that giant sea of digits. So, how does it begin? It starts by looking for the simplest possible clues, using something called filters. Imagine a tiny, transparent magnifying glass scanning across the grid of numbers, step by step, pixel by pixel. This filter is programmed to look for very basic mathematical changes in the numbers. For example, if it sees a sudden jump from very high numbers, which are bright colors, to very low numbers, which are dark colors, right next to each other, it realizes it has found an edge. A sharp transition. As the filter slides completely across the image, it begins drawing out a rough outline. Suddenly, out of the chaos of millions of numbers, the AI has discovered straight lines, curves, and sharp corners. But lines and corners aren't a cat. So the AI applies more filters. Some filters look specifically for textures, like the repeating pattern of fur. Other filters might look for specific shapes, like circles or triangles. The AI is essentially breaking down the image into its most basic, bare-bones ingredients. Now, this is where the magic of deep learning comes in. All of these basic ingredients, the edges and the textures, are passed deeper into the AI's brain. We call these layers. Think of it like an assembly line in a factory. The first processing layer handles the easiest jobs, it just finds the edges. Then, it passes those edges to the second processing layer. This second layer combines the edges together to find complex shapes. It might connect a triangle shape with some curved lines and say, hey, this looks like a pointed ear. Or it might piece together lines that form a circular shape and identify an eye. Then, those shapes are passed down again, to an even deeper layer. This layer takes the ear, the eye, and the fur texture, and combines them into an actual object part, like a face. Layer by layer, step by step, the AI builds up its understanding. It goes from completely meaningless numbers, to simple lines, to complex shapes, until it eventually pieces together the entire concept of the animal. Finally, we reach the end of the assembly line, the output. After all that mathematical processing, the AI looks at the final combination of features it built and makes a prediction. It compares what it found against everything it has learned in the past. It calculates a confidence score. It might say, I am 3% confident this is a dog, 1% confident this is a car, and 95% confident that this is a cat. And just like that, the AI has successfully seen the image. This exact same process, turning an image into a grid of numbers, scanning it for edges, building up shapes in layers, and making a final prediction, is happening all around you every single day. When you look at your smartphone and it automatically unlocks, that's an AI mapping the unique features of your face. When a self-driving car stops at a red light, it's an AI constantly processing video frames to recognize the world. Advanced AI systems are even being used in hospitals to analyze X-rays and medical scans, spotting diseases with incredible accuracy. By looking at the world not through eyes, but through layers of math and patterns, AI is completely transforming how we interact with technology. Thanks for watching. If you found this visual deep dive helpful, please be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel.